Thanks for coming. I'll answer any questions for you.
Front row, Austin. Urban, with this red zone situation with the quarterbacks, just from a practice perspective, how do you handle that? Because I'm sure you want to continue to develop Cardale, maybe so that he's an option there as well. I just wonder how you handle that situation.
We handle it. That's a good question. Today was red zone day, so JT runs out there, and then the twos go, and Cardale goes. It's a little bit like in the other part of the field. Cardale goes, JT goes. So it's really not much different than what you normally do. Your two doesn't get quite as many reps, so you go 6-4, 6-4 type thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What are things that you can do to get a quarterback who's maybe not playing as well in that area of the field to take another step? Are there additional ways to rep that to help them?
Yeah, just practice. And,
just practice.
Yeah, like I said, the red zone is such a different, it's a unique place. And the teams that are very good at it, which Ohio State has been for many years, you have to equate numbers down there because the numbers are so tight. And there's a couple ways to do it. There's really three ways: extremely accurate in the throw game, quarterback runner option, because the traditional is a little more difficult.
Middle row.
And for years we've done the tempo down there, and that was so, I don't know if you remember, 12 and 13, very successful. And then it started getting bogged down a little bit, and then we had to change things up a little bit. And that was when JT really had, what was that, last year, right? Yeah.
Second row middle. Ryan?
Just through the midpoint of the season, how would you evaluate where you all are from a special team standpoint? Obviously, Cam's having a pretty good year, but the field goal kicking.
Yeah, field goal kicking is from any distance at all. I think we're 0 for, right? I'm not sure. The coverage units are playing about as well as you can. Our kickoff and punt are #1 in the conference. Our punter, we didn't want to do that last week. 70-yard kick with a 4.2 hang time is not good against a returner like that. It worked out okay. You got an 18-yard return, and we still had a plus high 50 net. But you don't want that. We want a 45-50 straight in the air. But he's done really well.
Middle. Dave?
Coach, I imagine it's a delicate situation managing the egos with the quarterback situation. How do you think Cardale's handling it so far?
After week one, asked me on Sunday, I don't know. It went about as well as you could imagine. He completed 75% of his passes, Cardale did, and then the other guy comes in and scores 6 times. So I imagine there won't be, it's what happens when it doesn't work so well. And I've been there, so I think it's going great, but week to week. No, it's very much a concern.
Front row right. Tim?
Yeah, Urban, particularly, do you see his eyes get a little brighter in prime time? I mean, what do you, is there something a little bit different about him in prime time games?
Oh, I think the elite players do. I think number 1 now, I was going to say number 5 is like that. Yeah. The elite ones I've been around is that there's some truth to that. I don't want to disrespect Zeke and those other guys. Say they don't perform well when it's not bright lights, because they've all had great games around here. But I can see that, yeah. And I have seen that.
And the other thing, your secondary depth situation seems to be getting completed one player at a time. Has anybody stepped forward this week?
Malik Cooker has really done a nice job. I think he's starting on 3 phases and kicking now. We do have a depth issue at receiver too. Paris is doubtful. He re-injured that knee. That it's not surgical, but and then obviously you lost Corey Smith. You lost Noah Brown. There's one other guy, Eric Smith and Nick Connor. So yeah, it's that time of year, and I want to say we lost a few guys in the last couple of days, last week, and that starts hitting you in the kicking game. That's where it really starts hitting you. Chance Jerome Baker will play this week, and there's a chance KJ Hill will play. Yeah.
Third row left. Tim?
Urban, kind of going off of this question about the secondary, how do you kind of go about addressing maybe some of the walk-on players who might have to come in next step playing on special teams or maybe even
walk-on players? Just repping him. He's been getting some reps. I'm glad he's here. Trying to think who else. I think that's it in the secondary, but he's certainly getting prepared to go play if we need him. I just said Jerome Baker will play. I plan on starting him on kickoff, and then KJ Hill's another one that's close.
Front row right. Bill?
Big Ten East is looking like a powerhouse that a lot of people thought it would be. What's your take on how tough this is?
Well, I think they're really tough. I've seen the other teams on tape, and I think it's really tough. You know, I don't. People have asked me about comparing them to the other. It's been a while since I've been in another conference, but this is as tough as I can remember. Is this side right now?
You mentioned not having a schedule situation. Is there a chance that
Chance. This week, Jack is still the kicker, but it's an every week competition.
Far left, Doug?
When you talk about how you think Eli and Garyana played well this year, with Hackenberg and Hamilton had double-digit passes against you guys last year. This passing game for Penn State, is this the best you've seen?
Oh, certainly it is. Yeah.
How do you think those guys are going to do?
Well, it's much more than just the corners. When you say pass game, you're talking about you know, safeties, pass rush, and corners. Obviously, that's primarily what they do. But I think those two are a strength of what we do. But you know, they're a get it out fast team. So when you say get it out fast, a lot of times that's the Darren Lees, the linebackers, and because it's a lot of the underneath. Also, they throw a lot of screens, and that's D-line retracing the linebacker. So it's not just the corners. I think the corners are ready to go play a good game. But it's much more, you know, it's much more complicated than just the corners.
And you talked about JT, how good of a leader he was, even while he wasn't playing. If he has this role now, can he do that? Can that help the offense? I mean, again,
Helps the entire team. You know, it's he's a very unique guy as far as you guys have got to meet him, and he's a better leader today than he was a week ago, and he's one of the best I've ever been around a week ago. So the answer is real obvious, Doug, on that. Once you're playing and instrumental in a victory, it's much easier to lead, and we saw that last week.
And final couple questions. Ari, to the left?
Coach, you mentioned KJ Hill might play. I know last week, one of Gibson was somebody who got brought up. He had an injury that he was working through and stuff, but I think he initially made the move for the season was that would be quick to pass the field. Can you just talk about his development?
Yeah, it's still coming. He's a typical freshman. It's one of these deals. You know, he'll come out and practice well and play well, and then other times he won't. The injury set him back, obviously, but he's a guy that will continue to watch.
Is he somebody that you think are in your mind now, kind of in the same way that Bryant's moving from the guy at receiver, or is the future for him maybe?
Well, I think, you know, that we have not really had that conversation. You know, I still think behind center is going to be very intriguing. I have not got to work with him because that was pretty quick. We moved, but those are all more spring conversations as we get going.
And last question. Clay?
Love night games. What do you expect on Saturday night?
Oh, we love night games, and obviously the new unis, the crowd. You know, I think I just hear our players talk about it, and the worst thing is just hanging around the hotel all day. But the best thing is that atmosphere is going to be. You know, I got my first taste of it against I want to say Nebraska. My first year. Was that a night game? Yeah, that was. I remember walking out in that stadium, and so anxious to see it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.